Metro on WDET. I'm Robyn Vincent. When you travel around Detroit, you notice something really quick. Neighborhoods aren't just distinct here. Their arteries are truncated, blocked from surrounding areas. Unlike cities like New York or Sacramento, Detroit's industrialization often cuts people off from various spaces with its gray infrastructure. I'm talking about roads with wide lanes, large corporate plants, and several highways. That's why there's excitement around the Joe Louis Greenway. When completed, the project will wrap itself around the city, stretching 29 miles and connecting 23 Detroit neighborhoods with bike and pedestrian paths. But the Greenway doesn't have all the funds it needs yet. That's why it was a big deal that the Knight Foundation just gave the project $7 million to continue its construction. Leona Medley is the executive director of the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership, and she joins me now to discuss what the Greenway is and what its additional plans are. Leona, welcome back to the Metro.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so honored and thrilled to be here with you again this morning. How are you?
I am well, thank you. So the Joe Louis Greenway will stretch 27 miles and connect 23 Detroit neighborhoods with bike and pedestrian paths. And Leona, I am very excited about this. How do you think about the Greenway and all that it offers? In other words, in your mind, is it green space? Is it a connector to neighborhoods? Is it a trail? How do you see this project?
Such a great question. I think I see this project as one of not only kind of regional significance, but really national and global significance. One of the largest multimodal, non-motorized transportation projects that's happening in our country. And so it's something that here in Detroit and in the region, we really need to toot our own horn at building this massive project. And not only does it connect Detroiters, but it's also connecting cities and municipalities. So it is one that is connecting Detroit to Highland Park, to Dearborn, and to Hamtramck. I mean, that is really phenomenal.
Yeah, that part stands out to me a lot. I mean, that makes this a first. I mean, we often lament, I think a lot of us as Detroiters, that we don't have, say, public transit that's going to take us from the city into some of the Detroit suburbs. And so while we can't have those nice things right now, we can have some of that connectivity through this effort, through the Joe Louis Greenway, right?
That's right. What I really try to help individuals visualize is, we have this really beautiful riverfront that you can go to and that we can, that's award-winning and has this really great significance. Millions of people come from around the world to go to our riverfront. But this Joe Louis Greenway project is going to take that riverfront and connect it to the neighborhoods. And so when we think about the impact that has on residents and where we actually live, it's really giving us a city of abundance and right? We have a beautiful riverfront and beautiful trails and parks in our neighborhood. And so it's a part of a network. It's not just one thing by itself.
Leona,
it's a beautiful network.
Leona, forgive me. We're running out of time here, and I'm wondering if you can give us a little bit more of the details and paint the picture when it comes to the Detroit riverfront, because the Greenway, it got $5 million to link the riverfront to the Greenway in 23 neighborhoods. I am an avid Detroit riverfront walker, and as much as I love it and I want to be out there as often as I can, that's the one thing I lament, is that it feels isolated.
Well, it won't be now. So if you can imagine where the DeQuinder cut ends at the riverfront at Mac, the Joe Louis Greenway will now take that section and continue it on. So it will go on that far east side. It'll go north. It'll go around Factory Zero, up through Hamtramck, back to Detroit, through Highland Park, around back to Detroit and Dearborn. So this project, you'll be able to keep going. So you will no longer be able to have to stop at Mac when you're riding or walking, you'll be able to continue on through the city. And the funds from the Knight Foundation allow us, the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership, to program, to activate that space, and then to continue to think about how we impact the residents that live along this project.
Leona, in the last minute that we have here, we know that the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership needs to continue raising money. So how much more money do you need to complete the project, and what is the overall completion date? I've read that it's 2030. Is that right?
So what I'll tell you is that the Joe Louis Greenway, the fundraising for construction is happening in all of the cities. So the city of Detroit continues to fundraise for its segments. Dearborn continues to fundraise for its segments. Hamtramck is fundraising to construct its segments. So we all are working together collaboratively in this multi-city project to fundraise. And so, 2030 is definitely a target date that we're going after. But what I'll tell you, and by the end of 2027, the city of Detroit will have constructed 9 miles of newly constructed greenway from West Warren all the way around to McNichols and Joseph Campbell. So you will have a connected network that you'll be able to get on by the end of 2027. So Detroit has been working really tirelessly to get this greenway project constructed. And we continue to fundraise, right? So the Knight Foundation's gift to us allows us to program to bring out free family-friendly events. And so I want to tell your listeners on the 18th, we'll have our Pink-A-Ween. We want to make sure people come out and enjoy that. It'll be free right there on the Greenway.
Okay, so in 2 years, 9 miles more of connectivity, and that is through the Joe Louis Greenway Project. Leona Medley, the executive director of the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership, thank you so much for joining us on the Metro.
Thank you so much for having me.
Coming up on the Metro, Detroit filmmakers have a new avenue for honing their craft. We'll speak with the folks behind the city's new initiative to cultivate homegrown directors, writers, and videographers. That's next on the Metro with Tia Graham. This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation. And this is the Metro. Stay with us.